This evening, first, a toxic environment inside the region's highest court. Leaked correspondence revealed CCJ judges clashing over leadership, judicial independence, and the handling of the Mohamed extradition case itself. The opposition leader is now demanding an independent review of the very court that ruled against him. Also, the road to extradition is clear. 6 hearing dates set for September, as committal proceedings against Azruddin and Nazar Mohamed resumes after a 5-month pause. The CCJ has spoken and the case picks up exactly where it left off. Then gas cylinder explosions in homes have forced action. 2 new mandatory safety standards are coming for cooking gas cylinders and regulators, with dented, rusted or damaged tanks set to be pulled from circulation. Meanwhile, Skeldon is getting a complete makeover. A modernized market, upgraded roads for 700 households, thousands of meters of walkways, and new green spaces as the Model Village initiative reaches deep into Berbice, and a mountain of garbage 16 stories high. Indonesia's waste crisis reaches staggering proportions, with landfills overflowing and no easy solution in sight. Those stories and more coming up. Stay with us. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for August 10, 2026. I'm Berbice. Thank you for joining us. First up, a behind-the-scenes dispute among judges of the Caribbean Court of Justice has raised fresh questions about the handling of the extradition case involving opposition leader Azruddin Mohamed and his father Nazar Mohamed. The opposition leader is calling for an independent examination of internal correspondence, reportedly revealing disagreements among CCJ judges over the court's administration, judicial independence, and the handling of his case. The dispute reportedly began over a proposed dress code for judges, but later expanded into broader concerns about the leadership of CCJ President Justice Winston Anderson. According to correspondence reported by the Trinidad Express, several judges raised concerns about consultation, working relationships, and whether judges were being pressured when they held views different from the president. One judge reportedly described the environment at the court as increasingly toxic and expressed concerns that such issues could affect the administration of justice. The Mohamed extradition case was also specifically mentioned. Another judge reportedly said there had been disagreements over the timing and manner in which the court's decision was to be announced. However, the correspondence does not indicate that the judges' disagreement with the actual outcome of the case. All 6 judges ultimately agreed with the decision, which was delivered as a unanimous judgment. On July 29, the CCJ dismissed an appeal by Mohamed and his father challenging Ghana's decision to allow extradition proceedings requested by the United States to continue. The U.S. is seeking their extradition over an 11-count indictment involving alleged conspiracy, fraud, and money laundering. Mohamed's office says the allegations are serious enough to warrant an independent review, arguing that the integrity of the CCJ is too important for such concerns to remain unanswered. Staying with current events, after a 5-month legal roadblock, opposition leader Azruddin Mohamed and his father Nazar Mohamed are once again facing extradition to the United States after the Caribbean Court of Justice dismissed their appeal, clearing the way for committal proceedings to resume in September. Chief Magistrate Judy Lachman has scheduled hearings for September 3rd, 4th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th in the Georgetown Magistrates Court, following the CCJ's July 29th ruling, lifting the interim stay that had halted the case since March. The U.S. formally requested Mohamed's extradition on October 30, 2025, in connection with an 11-count federal indictment charging conspiracy, mail fraud, wire fraud, and money laundering. Minister of Home Affairs Juanita Walron issued the authority to proceed the very next day, allowing Chief Magistrate Lachman to issue arrest warrants and begin proceedings. The father and son challenged the authority to proceed in December 2025, claiming Walron acted with political bias. After losing at the High Court and Court of Appeal, they escalated to the CCJ, which granted an emergency stay in March. In its final ruling, the CCJ found the bias rule applies to ministerial decisions, but the Mohammeds failed to prove the ATP was inappropriately influenced. The court unanimously dismissed the appeal. The hearing resumes where it left off in March, when cross-examination of the sole prosecution witness, Permanent Secretary Sharon Rupchan Edwards, was interrupted. The Mohammeds, on $150,000 bail each, must surrender passports and report weekly to Ranville Police Station. U.S. prosecutors allege a years-long scheme exporting gold using false customs declaration, evading over $50 million in taxes using reused export seals. The allegations underpin June 2024 U.S. Treasury sanctions against the Mohammeds, which they deny. On a different note, another deadly road accident has claimed 2 lives in Berbice, prompting renewed calls for motorists to exercise extreme caution on the nation's roads. The accident occurred shortly after 3:30 this morning at the Eversham Coker Bridge on Currentine Public Road. 2 men died after the car in which they were traveling in with 2 other occupants crashed into a bridge rail. One of the deceased had been identified as Daniel Singh of Cumberland, Kanchi, Berbice. The identity of the second victim has not yet been confirmed. Reports indicate that the vehicle may have been traveling at a fast rate when it suffered a tire blowout, causing the driver to lose control. The car subsequently crashed, with the impact reportedly throwing one occupant several feet from the vehicle. Members of the public assisted in removing the occupants from the damaged vehicle, and all 4 were taken to the number 75 public hospital. The 2 victims were pronounced dead on arrival, while the driver and another passenger were receiving medical treatment for serious injuries. Police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the crash. Reports that the occupants were returning from a wake are also being examined. The incident serves as a stark reminder that speeding, fatigue, and vehicle defects can have deadly consequences. Motorists are urged to slow down, ensure their vehicles, including tires, are roadworthy, avoid driving when tired, and remain alert at all times. Headline News will bring more details as they become available. Stick around when we return. Skeldon Market to get major facelift as modern village push reaches Berbice, and new safety rules compulsory for LPG gas cylinders and regulators.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road, Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. After growing concern over gas cylinder explosions and leaks in homes, the government has approved 2 new safety standards to become compulsory for liquefied petroleum gas cooking cylinders and the regulators used with them. The Ministry of Tourism, Industry and Commerce says the move follows a 2025 review by the Guyana National Bureau of Standards aimed at making gas equipment safer and easier to monitor. A technical committee, including the EPA, Ghana Energy Agency, Fire Service, GRA, Marseille Gas, and Gas, worked on the changes with public input gathered over 60 days. Under the updated cylinder standard, gas cylinders must meet recognized safety specifications and be clearly stamped to show they comply. Each cylinder must display key details such as its weight, capacity, serial number, manufacturer, and date manufactured. Cylinders also need safety features such as a pressure relief valve, a protective shroud or neck ring, and a stable base. Cylinders with dents, rust, fire damage, or broken parts will not meet the standards. The second standard covers gas regulators, requiring them to be made from materials that would not be damaged by gas or heat exposure, with specific rules for brass parts, valve materials, and workmanship to prevent leaks or failures. Once compulsory, suppliers and manufacturers will be legally required to meet these rules, giving consumers greater confidence that the gas equipment they buy is safe. The Energy Agency will monitor cylinder compliance, while GNBS will oversee regulator standards. Before the rules become law, the public, importers, and distributors can submit comments to GNBS by September 30th, 2026. The standards are available for viewing at GNBS's Sophia office or online at www.gnbsgy.com. In other news, President Dr. Mohamed announced Saturday that the Skeldon market in Berbice, Region 6, is set for a major upgrade, part of a broader plan to modernize the community for residents, vendors, and businesses. The market improvements form part of a wider infrastructure overhaul for Skeldon, including upgrades to the road network, benefiting over 700 households, 12 businesses, and 4 places of worship. President Ali said markets should be more than places of commerce, envisioning clean, attractive, functional spaces that boost the local economy alongside opportunities in agro-processing, agriculture, and honey production. He said the goal is to develop communities that have a complete ecosystem. The wider Skeldon intervention includes over 2,000 meters of concrete walkways, more than 9,000 cross drains, and rehabilitation or replacement of over 30 culverts. Plans also call for new street lamps, replacement of utility posts, tree planting, and 2 new green spaces. President Ali said the works aim to improve safety and accessibility while tracking garbage disposal, noise nuisance, and improper storage of materials in public spaces. He said the goal is for Skeldon residents to enjoy the same quality of life as Georgetown and other urban centers, with safe roads, drainage, recreation spaces, and economic opportunities. Ministers are expected to return in the coming weeks to discuss Ghana Development Bank opportunities, including poultry and egg production clusters. Skeldon is among 23 villages in the Modern Village Initiative's pilot phase. 19 consultations are done, with Supernam, Charity, Saudi, and Anna Regina to follow on Monday. Don't go away after the break. Russia and Ukraine trade strikes, missiles and drone attacks hit major cities, and China's memory chip industry. CXMT becomes China's most valuable listed company.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world.
Good evening, I'm Dominic Kittins tonight. 4 killed, including 3 Colombian women, when a sightseeing helicopter crashed over Rio de Janeiro. China's chip industry defies US tariffs. Indonesia's landfills buckle under a mountain waste crisis, and Russia and Ukraine trade overnight missiles and drone strikes. We will start in South America, where 4 people, including a pilot and 3 Colombian women from the same family, have been killed in a helicopter crash over Chijunca National Park in Rio de Janeiro. The group was on a sightseeing flight when the aircraft went down. Rio's mayor has called for increased oversight of helicopter tours and suggested temporarily suspending such flights while new safety measures are implemented. China's drive for chip self-reliance is accelerating as homegrown maker CXMT becomes the world's fourth largest memory chip producer, despite new US tariffs targeting China's semiconductor supply chain. Al Jazeera's Rob McBride reports.
It's the public listing that has everyone talking, not only here in China, but in the tech world generally. It's instantly made CXMT China's most valuable listed company and also a champion of the country's drive to become a global high-tech superpower, challenging international efforts led by the US to constrain those efforts. It's put the company in the big league of makers of the very specialized chips that are used in the manufacture of smartphones and also for many AI applications, and as a source of pride for the many workers here at the company's production base in the city of Hefei.
I believe CXMT has great growth potential. The future market is immense, and it has great prospects for development.
The company is also seen as a triumph for the kind of public-private investment now known as the Hefei model that has catapulted it to success in the 10 short years of its existence, with around half the company now owned by shareholders with some connection to the government. It's led to a mini boom for Hefei that used to be known as one of the less well-developed cities of central China. Not anymore.
CXMT will create more job opportunities, attract more talent to Hefei, and better promote the city.
I'm very proud. The local government spent 10 years in nurturing CXMT, and it's an impressive achievement.
It's estimated CXMT now occupies the world's fourth spot as a maker of this specialized type of memory chip. The world's top 3 manufacturers from South Korea and the US are still reckoned to be way ahead, possibly by a couple of technological generations. But given the dramatic rise of this Chinese contender, it seems to be an advantage they won't always be able to rely upon. Rob McBride, Al Jazeera, Hefei, Central China.
Indonesia faces a mountain waste crisis, with many landfills already at or beyond capacity. At Bantarjiban near Jakarta, rubbish span 100 hectares and rises to 65 meters, roughly a 16-story height. Al Jazeera's Jessica Washington reports.
This is the Bantar Gebang landfill in Bekasi on the outskirts of Jakarta. A mountain of trash that spreads across more than 100 hectares and reaches a height of 65 meters.
It's just one of hundreds of landfills in Indonesia. Many are already at or beyond capacity. Bantar Gebang is the largest. Years of dumping have resulted in rubbish piling up to the height of a 16-story building.
It's hot and humid here, and the smell of rotting garbage is strong. This landfill also poses a risk to the community here, including the thousands who work at this site. Methane gas fires are common, and so too are trash landslides.
In March, 7 people were killed when a mountain of waste collapsed. The government has pledged to clamp down on unrestricted dumping and transition to controlled disposal of waste.
We are also reshaping the slopes at Bantar Gebang, improving the drainage system and managing methane gas. With controlled landfill, the waste is leveled, compacted and then covered with protective materials.
Authorities in Jakarta have also introduced waste sorting, and the aim is that eventually landfills will only accept residual waste. The policy to end open dumping marks one of Indonesia's biggest waste reforms in decades. Yet it's alarming those who work informally as waste collectors, searching the landfill for items that can be resold. Most of the waste collectors here say they only earn a few dollars a day, working for more than 12 hours. It's dangerous and exhausting.
penghasilan kita dari mana?
Where will our income come from? All this time, our income has come from trash. If the trash is sorted elsewhere, what kind of trash will come here?
The government says the policy will create safer, formal jobs in waste management and plans to create more processing facilities to separate different kinds of waste. Jessica Washington, Al Jazeera, Jakarta.
Russia and Ukraine have traded deadly missile and drone attacks, with overnight strikes reported across several regions. Al Jazeera's Victoria Gatembi reports.
A Russian drone hit this 10-story block of flats in Ukraine's second-largest city, Kharkiv. It was one of several strikes targeting Ukrainian cities overnight.
I was sleeping right there on the 6th floor where there's no balcony. That white window frame was blown out. My wife and I were just lucky.
In Pavlohrad, in the Dnipro region, 9 missiles struck a shopping centre. Authorities say children are among the injured. And in Odessa, missiles and drones damaged residential buildings. The port city is on the Black Sea and handles more than 90% of Ukraine's grain exports. Moscow says it's targeting ships carrying weapons for the Ukrainian army. Kyiv disputes that. Civilians say they're paying the price.
Nowhere in Ukraine is completely safe, so you just have to follow safety precautions. It's impossible for everyone to leave.
Everyone who lives in Odessa knows that the most common target is around the port area. It's always the port.
Ukraine also carried out attacks overnight. It says it destroyed a Russian air defense system near the town of Galenzik on the Black Sea. The equipment is used to detect, track and destroy aircraft, missiles and drones. Authorities in the Russian city of Belgorod near the border say more than 160 drones were intercepted, but some weren't. With diplomatic efforts to end the war seemingly at a standstill, both sides are intensifying their attacks. Victoria Gatenby, Al Jazeera.
Thanks, Dominique. This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-Debate forecast. And that's it for the 2 headline news for this Monday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourselves and each other.